They told you I got rich from stocks. That is not the whole truth. They told you I spotted undervalued companies before anyone else did. They told you I had a gift, a genius, some kind of Wall Street superpower that ordinary people simply do not have. And every time they tell you that story, they are lying to you. Not with bad intentions, but with comfortable, expensive lies that keep you exactly where you are. Here's the truth. Nobody in a suit wants you to hear. The gap between where you are and where you want to be has almost nothing to do with stocks. It has almost nothing to do with investment strategy. It has almost nothing to do with finding the right opportunity. It has everything to do with a single $5 decision made daily, silently, without applause. I am Warren Buffett. I have been making that decision for over 70 years. And today, I am going to show you exactly what it is, why it is so hard to make, and why the system surrounding you profits from your failure to make it. Not because of a conspiracy, but because of mathematics. Let us begin. Wealth is not what you think it is. Most people believe wealth is an amount, a number, a balance in an account. They think the wealthy are simply people who found a bigger number than everyone else. They think wealth is a destination. You arrive at once, you earn enough, save enough, invest enough. This is wrong. Completely and fundamentally wrong. Wealth is not an amount. Wealth is a physical force. It is gravitational energy stored and released over time. It obeys the same laws as any other force in the universe. It compounds. It accelerates. It resists interference. And once it reaches a critical threshold, it begins to move on its own. I call this framework the compound gravity of capital. In physics, escape velocity is the minimum speed an object needs to break free from a gravitational field. For a rocket launching from Earth, that speed is roughly 7 meters per second. Below that threshold, gravity pulls you back. Above it, you are free. Wealth has an escape velocity, too. Below a certain threshold of consistent behavior, the gravitational pull of expenses, emergencies, and entropy pulls your money back down every time. Without exception, the $5 habit is not about $5. It is about practicing the micro decisions that build the escape velocity your financial life needs to finally break free. But there is a trap, and most people are already inside it without knowing. Here is how the trap works. You spend more than you should, so you have less than you need, so you feel anxious and deprived. So you spend again briefly to feel relief, and because you spent, you have less again. A perfect airtight self-sealing loop. Spending triggers scarcity, scarcity triggers anxiety, anxiety triggers spending, spending triggers scarcity. Again, you have been living inside this loop. It is not a personal failing. It is a mechanism, a well-engineered, precisely calibrated mechanism that the entire consumer economy depends on to keep running. There is a way out, but it requires you to understand 5 specific loops that are running inside your life right now. 5 self-perpetuating traps, each one invisible until you name it, each one breakable once you see it clearly. The first loop I call the poverty premium engine. The second loop I call the dopamine debt spiral. The third loop I call the bandwidth collapse. The fourth loop I call the invisible friction tax. The fifth loop I call the identity anchor chain. These are the 5 loops that keep ordinary people from ever reaching escape velocity. We are going to break them one by one. Now we enter the first loop. I call this the poverty premium engine. You are not bad with money. You are just being charged more for being poor. And that difference alone can cost you hundreds of thousands of dollars over a lifetime. Here is the math that most people never see. And when they see it, it changes something in them permanently. In Terry Pratchett's novel Men at Arms, There's a character named Sam Vimes. Sam is a poor policeman. He cannot afford a good pair of boots. A good pair costs $50 and lasts 10 years. A cheap pair costs $10 and falls apart in a year. Over 10 years, the poor man spends $100 on boots. The rich man spends $50. The poor man paid double. Not because he was foolish, because he was poor. This is called the Vimes Boots theory of poverty. It is real economics dressed in fiction. Now scale that out. The person who cannot afford a reliable car pays more for repairs. The person who cannot maintain a dental checkup pays more for root canals. The person who cannot buy in bulk pays more per unit at the convenience store. The person who cannot pay rent on time pays late fees. The person carrying credit card debt at 24% interest is paying the bank to fund their own poverty. Every single year, the person at the bottom of the economic ladder pays a premium for being there. Economists at the Brookings Institution estimate that low-income Americans pay a POV, your behavior, to confirm that prediction, not out of self-destruction, out of efficiency, confirming what you already believe is cheaper computationally than updating your model of who you are. This is why people who receive sudden wealth so frequently lose it. Lottery winners, inheritance recipients, athletes at the peak of earning, their identity does not include a wealthy person. Their behavior corrects for the discrepancy. The system profits from fixed identity. Marketing is largely the art of telling you who you are so that your purchases confirm that story. You're a person who deserves this. You are the kind of person who wears this. You are the kind of person who drives this. Identity sells product. And a fixed low financial confidence identity sells an enormous amount of product to people who are spending their way toward a self-concept they were sold. The escape action here is called the evidence file. Every week, document one specific small financial decision you made correctly. Not perfectly, correctly. You waited before buying. You chose the store brand. You put $10 extra away. You read the fine print. One decision written down, reviewed monthly. You are not writing affirmations. You are building an evidence-based case to your own prediction engine that the identity it is protecting is outdated. You are not telling your brain who you are. You are showing it who you have already been. This requires patience. It requires months, not days. But you are not updating a belief. You are recalibrating a neurological prediction system that has been running the same model for decades. That is worth the wait. The poverty premium engine, the dopamine debt spiral, the bandwidth collapse, the invisible friction tax, the identity anchor chain. These are the chains that bind you, not your income, not your zip code, not your education, not your family. These 5 loops running silently, reinforcing each other, building walls around the life you are capable of living. But remember this, I started investing at 11 years old.